Hey, what is going on guys? Danny here, hope you've all been doing well. In this video, I wanted to talk about the CPU market for consumers and what kind of state the market is in right now. More specifically, the types of deals you can find, because of things like Black Friday that recently just passed, and with the upcoming holiday season, things will be getting even more interesting. I actually wanted to make this video last week, but unfortunately I had so much going on and I just couldn't get around to it. I'll touch a bit more on that later though. So last week was Black Friday, and a lot of retailers had quite a lot of sales going on, from CPUs, graphics cards, monitors, and other various consumer electronics. Usually these sales are also carried over the weekend, as I know a lot of places will do Black Friday weekend events just to accommodate for the rush. What I like to do is follow specific forums for deals. You've got places like Build a PC Sales and BA PC Sales Canada on Reddit, where people will post deals on various computer components and other consumer electronics. I also visit a site called Red Flag Deals. This is a site we have here in Canada that allows users to post deals and sales from retailers across the country, not just for electronics, but for things like clothing and furniture or whatever. So they're useful forums that can help you find a deal for things you might be interested in. And so what I noticed was that when it came to CPUs, there were a lot of AMD Ryzen deals being posted, and not too many posts were being made regarding sales for Intel processors. I already knew that we most likely wouldn't be seeing too many sales for Intel processors, as they are going through a bit of a shortage mess right now due to delaying their 10nm process, and them having to solely fall back on their 14nm process for pretty much all their applications. If you want to know more about that, I'll have links to 2 videos where I talk about the situation. However, what completely caught me by surprise was seeing the crazy discounts offered on AMD processors from several retailers. I'm sure most of you guys were also browsing through the market during that time period and probably saw some of these deals, but just to give you guys some examples, Fry's Electronics was selling a R7 1700 for $119, which is absolutely insane because this is i3 territory. I never thought I'd see an 8-core 16-thread processor for the price of what an i3 costs. Just 2 years ago, I would look at processors like the 6900K and 5960X from Intel and always think to myself, how long will it take for those processors with their hefty price tags to become more feasible for budget-oriented users? But here we are 2 years later, and now when you're on the topic of a budget build, you can also include those powerhouse CPUs in the conversation. But just to give you guys some more examples of some other good deals I saw, 1700X from Micro Center was going for $139.99, which is also really low. And while the second gens didn't go as low as the first generation Ryzen processors, their prices were still also excellent, considering their launch MSRPs and things like that. I also saw the 2600X on sale for $169.99 from Amazon, a Ryzen 7 2700X for $249.99, and a 2700 for $229.99. Which makes Intel's 9900K at $569.99 over double the price look like an absolute joke. The discounts for AMD's HEDT platform were also quite hefty as well, where one could find a 16-core Threadripper 1950X for around $450, a 12-core 1920X for $350 to $380, which is also just ridiculous considering AMD had launched their mainstream parts at these prices not too long ago. And to make these processors even more appealing, in order to get an equivalent or competing CPU from Intel, you're going to be looking at paying over double the price. So whether you're a budget builder or a performance enthusiast, you're a heavy multitasking content creator, whatever the case may be, there were fantastic options for everyone. The other thing I wanted to bring to your guys' attention was that when AMD is offering high core count CPUs at these kinds of prices, I see no reason to recommend Intel for any scenario. Because for gaming, AMD performs just fine, and for multi-threading tasks, they're absolute beasts. Like, the only 2 scenarios I can think of where someone would opt for Intel is if they specifically needed AVX 512 support, or they're a hardcore competitive CSGO gamer that plays at like 900p on a 240Hz monitor and needs like 700 frames per second. And those two are extremely niche situations. So going back to what I said at the start of this video, I've actually been working part-time at a computer hardware store. We got quite busy on Black Friday and sold quite a lot of systems from pre-builds to custom builds people made themselves. And what I noticed was that Ryzen CPUs and Ryzen-based desktop systems were outselling Intel by quite the margin. I would say by 4 to 1. Keep in mind, I'm only talking about the desktop platform here and not mobile, like laptops or notebooks, because AMD has a lot more work to do in that department. A whole different topic that I'll address in a different video. But I was happy to see this change in the market, and people are now actually beginning to realize that there are great alternatives to Intel out there in the market for different segments. I'm sure the current markup on Intel processors had a little bit to do with that, but I was able to speak to multiple people and they all told me how happy they were to see competition back in the market, and they were pleased with what AMD have been able to achieve and deliver with Ryzen, and I totally agree with them. Because while in tech forums, places like Reddit or whatever, or tech sites, yes, there will be people discussing about CPUs saying that yes, AMD has great options out there, but when it comes to people that are not so in the know, they always tend to flock towards Intel, or at least that's what used to be the case. So when I saw people coming in and inquiring about AMD and Ryzen and saying that they wanted to purchase Ryzen systems or CPUs, that was actually pretty surprising to me, but it was a welcoming experience. If you didn't get the chance to take advantage of the great deals, don't worry, Christmas and Boxing Day are still coming up. I'm sure we'll be seeing even more deals like this. But I just wanted to bring this to your guys' attention and make a video regarding this topic and give you guys my thoughts on it. And just so you guys know, I do have my own Amazon storefront page that you can check out. Here I'll be posting deals, products, and items that I approve of and recommend. You'll find things like CPUs, motherboards, graphics cards, cases, and a lot more. Check it out in the video description down below. It doesn't cost you guys anything extra and helps me out, helps the channel out, so I can continue to bring you guys more content. Let me know your thoughts down below. What were some of the deals you guys were able to hop on? If you're interested in more content like this, then make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.